Everybody, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about the barrel boat performance on the trip and what happened trailering it. It's kind of funny and bad on my part. I should have known, but in the poor van it suffered. But yeah, we'll talk about how the boat performed. I'm in the boat right now on a 5-day trip, and what I heard on Facebook about trailering barrel boats. Alright, on the way there, well, I left here, had my 4 pages of supplies. I got in the van and left because I was running late. All the way up there, the van was just having a hard time with the boat, which it shouldn't. It's a B8 1-ton van. So I get up there because I was just wanting to get up there. First, anytime you take this boat, you gotta set it up when you get to the launch. The front awning's gotta come up. And so I already had everything in the boat. And I went up and parked the truck, came down. They wanted to talk, but I wanted out of there, you know. It was a 5-hour drive turned into a 7-hour drive. So, on the way up, I noticed, so I got that rear view camera, and I see the 2 back gates flapping in the breeze. I thought I fixed that because last year I had barrel latches, and same thing. You know, I did a 50-mile round trip, and they were flapping in the breeze. So I switched them out to gate latches. Thought we were good, but no. They were flapping in the breeze, so I had to pull over. I had some carabiners, so I put carabiners in them because they have a hole for a lock. And that took care of that. Started driving again. I looked back, the back door swinging in the breeze, big door. Pull over again, and I had to climb up on the side because I carabinered the gate shut, and the front door you can't get to without opening the awning. So I climb up on the boat, and the back door handle is about to fall off. Luckily I had tools to put the door handle all back together, and kept going. And at that point I figured, well, I might as well stop at a store, blah blah blah. So I get there, and this older couple helps me in the water, but it's 6:30 and I gotta find a cove to sleep in. I head out, and you've seen the videos, the trip videos. You know what happens after that. So, as I'm heading to that first cove, I look back, and I notice both back corners, the windows are blown out in the corners. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna just get eaten alive. Well, actually one window was blown out in the corner, just in the corner of the window, and the other one was about ready to go. So I didn't have to do nothing with that one, so it was still there. But the one, I put electrical tape on, and that did good. I only had a bug in here one night while I was sleeping, I think, a mosquito. So, how did it do trailering? Great, except for gas mileage. This trailer I had built just floats along. Thank God, because the way back got pretty bumpy. Talk about that in a minute, but so the back windows, the doors, that's all minor stuff and should have been thought of. You know, I should have put Loctite on, thinking can't take household, you know, materials and driving down the highway. So I get out, you know, the trip. Second day is when I really get to test everything, and the boat did great. You know, by the third day, I had everything sprawled out on the table here, charging everything I had here. You know, drone batteries, speaker, everything, phone, blah blah blah. The only thing I did is I had my Jackery with me too, and I used my Jackery at night when I was online on my laptop here, you know, uploading videos or watching YouTube or whatever. So I wanted to try the Jackery as well. So Jackery did great. I think I used it 2 or 3 times, once for the speaker. And I think when I got home after 5 days, still had like 53% left or something. But I didn't cook with it or anything. I guess that really chews them up, you know, a little bit there. But and the solar, neither system gave me any troubles at all. The motor, I had pretty much 5 days of sun. All right, say 4.5, because the one day number 4, it clouded up for half a day. What I have here is a Minn Kota 70-pound thrust, 24-volt trolling motor that I took the head off of and ran up to the helm and mounted it vertical, and I didn't want to twist it, so I mounted a golf cart shifter just to the end of it. Works good. It's almost like a trawler style throttle now. But anyway, 70-pound Minn Kota, 600 watts of solar on the roof, the Renogy 40 amp Rover MPPT, and the 2 Renogy batteries. I mean, I could have ran all 5 days if I would have been more careful. I put 3 hours on the gas motor the whole 5 days, and one probably you know, at least 2 hours of it were just my choice, just wanting to get around quicker. A half hour of it was probably trying to get the boat out of the water. That was not fun. But and then you know, the wind with this boat is not a good thing. So one time I did have to start the motor and hit reverse to get me out of the way of a tree, because I stay pretty close to shore, you know, it's prettier. I only draw a foot of water. Actually, I was listening to a live video from my buddy Dan. at DC Outdoors, and looked up, and I was getting pushed to that tree. So I'm glad I got a gas motor. But this system, amazingly enough, if if you don't have sunshine, then yeah, you're not going far. But I could have went the whole 5 days without without gas, if I would have been a little more careful the way I was driving and not just use the gas motor because I wanted to. But it's pretty amazing to me, and the system I got, the breakdown is not it's not that expensive. It's you can, and then you could get a way bigger system than what I have here. This is how technology is. This is already well, I've had these panels probably 5 years, so most of them, and then I ordered the same ones to get the 8. But you could do a nice solar system, I think, on a boat. Now they make really expensive motors to do this with, but I'm just using a trolling motor. And talking to Minn Kota, he didn't say anything about it. He didn't say, you're running that thing all day. That ain't gonna happen. The only thing he said was get it out of the water if you're using the gas motor, if you can. Yeah, I don't know. It's let's see, 16 hours. I did 19 and a half hours of runtime, according to Navionics. So it's probably short a little bit, by the time you hit track. But, well, that means, 16 and a half was on that trolling motor, and it wasn't 5 minutes at a time. It was hours at a time. So last year, I think it was 8 hours we were gone. Maybe 7 of it was on solar. So that's not bad. I mean, put 23 hard hours on that motor so far, and now I think it's fine. I don't know, but in case anybody out there is wondering, it's just a regular trolling motor. It's not a $8,000 those other ones are real expensive. And there's another couple guys around here that have it was a barrel boat, now it's a pontoon boat, and they clean up the river. Money Pit Boating. They have a really nice, expensive motor, but you're talking 48 bolts. It's just too much money for me, and but they can go 10 miles an hour. I can go 3 at the most with the trolling motor, but it worked great. I mean, everything. I left the TV on overnight, well, every night, and the anchor light, I think I used it only 2 nights though, but that's separate anyway. The TV was on every morning when I got up, except for one morning, which means the inverter was only reading 11.8 or something, whatever it is, and the inverter cut off because it'll shut down if it gets to a certain level. The lighting in here was good. I mean, like mood lighting, it's not bright, and I do have that 12 volt dimmable switch right there, and I was going to put lights in the beam. Might do that still. I have a set of headlights I was going to put on. This boat, if anybody said what would you do, about the only thing I could do would be batteries, well, the solar system. Would I need to completely redo it? No. I could just get a 12 volt 200 amp, whatever the biggest they got, and even lithium for the cabin power, and I could, do the same thing with the system for the boat without upgrading controllers and panels. But just to do that, and I went the biggest I can find for the motor. Just for the motor, those two batteries would be $3,200, and then a lithium for the 12 volt system here. So you're already, that's already way too much money for me right now. I don't, like I said, it ran for 5 days, but I don't need to do anything right now because, and I think we're done now, but the because is I've been I've been reading on Facebook posts in the barrel boat group and homemade houseboat group that you can't trailer barrel boats that are turned into houseboats because of the weight. The barrels can't withstand it. Well, first of all, it'd be real sad if I went to launch it this week and or those people are right and all my barrels are leaking. But I've had this boat 3 years. I built it 3 years ago. I used the white barrels. They are 1/16 of an inch thicker than the blue ones. I have never had one collapse. I've had them sitting around by the barn here for 5 years. The barrels on the boat, every winter, I jack up the platform in the back and in the front and take the weight off of the barrels. And this was my 3rd year. Knock on wood, it keeps going because if they all crack on me, dynamite. Alright, if they all crack on me, I could swap out all barrels, or just go to pontoons. If I go to pontoons, then it's not a barrel boat anymore. It's a pontoon boat. But yeah, so once again, I'm in holding pattern. I gotta fix these 2 back windows. We got rain in here today. But I'm not gonna do anything else to this boat right now. Like I said, it did 5 days of camping phenomenally. Drove it 250 miles. It didn't change throughout 5 days. It didn't slowly sink. It was amazing. And then the body of water I was on was just phenomenal. No house, national forest. I don't know the miles. I did 30, the 5 days I did 32.5 miles in 19.5 hours. But just nooks and coves and crannies, and it was beautiful. And if you watch the videos, I had these swans. 3 times they caught up with me, and they just eat right out of my hand, which is really crazy because you need the swans around here. They're gonna attack you. They're not gonna eat out of your hand pretty much, but. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a speedboat coming up the river. I can hear it from my house. Oh, he might be on the, he's on the channel. He's not on the river. River's over there. River, channel, bay, Great Lake. So that's about it. Yeah, it did great. Really bummed out about reading about barrels not holding up to trailering. Well, this week I'm gonna try to put it in the water. I'm just gonna take it to the bay, right by my house here, and it's some really pretty water. I just don't like going out on the big water. I've been caught out there too many times by storms. It just pop up. But I'll let you know if it starts sinking. You'll probably be seeing it in the video. Unless the video goes underwater. The camera goes underwater too. Alright. Hopefully not. Hopefully this boat keeps on floating. It's been great so far. And get out and build one. Doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as it functions. Thanks for watching. Keep on watching. See you next time.